Hello, everyone. I am Kim Trathen, and this is, I believe, segment 16 of the Girls Talk Business Show. I am super excited to talk to tonight's guest, Julie. I think she pronounces her last name Theis, but I'm going to have to check with her. Julie has a really amazing story. So she may be somebody that you would look at and just assume that maybe she has always had this really easy life, that things have been handed to her on a silver platter because of all the things that she has accomplished in her life. But and it looks like Julie just got on. So I will finish the introduction in a minute. And Julie, I'm adding you right now. Have a notification here in a minute to accept, and then it should show us as a split screen. Hello!
Hi!
How are you?
I'm so good.
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Am I coming through all right?
Yep.
Perfect.
Awesome. I am so excited to have you on today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. I'm excited too.
So I was just giving our viewers a little introduction saying that with some of the things that you've accomplished in your life, it might be really easy for other people on the outside to look in and assume that you had a really easy life, almost maybe even had things handed to you on a silver platter. You have started a nonprofit. You are running your own business. Are you currently a grad student right now?
I'm in grad school currently, yeah.
4.0 grad student. You previously held the title, or still hold it, I'm not sure how long it is. Previously held the title of Miss Montana International 2017. Did I get it right?
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
So you have also then recently been named one of Montana's top 25 under 25.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of accomplishments under your belt. So first, where are you currently now? Where are you joining us from?
I'm in Bozeman, Montana.
Awesome. I'm in Michigan. Anybody
Perfect.
catching us live right now? If anybody is on, or if you catch the replay, share with us where you're watching from. I love seeing where Girls Talk Business spans to, and it's really fun to see all these other countries and things like that represented. So you've accomplished a lot in your semi-short life so far. But as I was saying, it might be really easy for people to look at those accomplishments and assume that you've had an easy life. Before we start talking about your story, I would love for you to share with the audience a bit about the nonprofit that you started and your current business. Could you share a little bit about what your business goal is and what the goal is of your nonprofit and how long ago you launched those?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started my nonprofit 2 years ago. This was the time that I was Miss Montana International, because my whole platform was about youth empowerment and inspiring other people that no matter where you come from, just like my story, you can live the life of your dreams. So I started that. The whole purpose around it is to increase self-esteem and confidence in young girls through dance. So I run these dance workshops. They've been super powerful, super impactful. I've had such good feedback from the parents. So they've been amazing. And that was really my first taste of what it was like to be a business owner. And I absolutely loved it. And I was always really interested in it and just wasn't sure how to proceed. My main background is in psychology, helping people work through their insecurities, empowering others. So it's the perfect thing to, put my foot in the door of business. After that, I really just loved the marketing behind business, using psychology to really put myself forward in the marketplace, understanding my market psychology. But also I realized how much I had to master my own psychology, overcome my own fears and insecurities as a business owner to start to reach success, my own fears around making money or not making money to reach success. So I started Julie Theis Coaching. How it first began was just really working on women with these same insecurities, who had these bigger goals, but might have had blocks, from their childhood, being told that they weren't good enough, that they couldn't reach their dreams. All of that is how I first started. And then we really started, helping women build their own businesses. So now that's more of what my coaching looks like, is helping women who have these insecurities, working with them on their mindset, but also giving them this really strong strategy to move forward in business and to profit off of their passions.
Oh, that's so amazing. Mindset is such this critical piece. And I think sometimes people are surprised when they have mindset blocks, because I don't think that people always realize that it's a block that they're experiencing because
Right.
they're so sure that it's true that it becomes fact in their minds.
Exactly.
And it can be really eye-opening. And I think everybody has dealt with blocks on some level, even if they didn't have maybe a traumatic childhood, like you did or something like that. There's all these preconceived notions that we have and different things, again, that we just take for face value and think that it's truth. And then we start telling ourselves this. And it's really amazing how much we all end up holding ourselves back. So that is, I love that you're in that space. That is so powerful. So could you start by sharing a bit of your story, kind of what your childhood was like, and why I said, like, some people might assume that you had it easy, but you had anything but an easy childhood. I mean, it does not sound like you did not have the storybook childhood handed to you. It sounds like you went through some really big struggles in your life.
Right. Yeah. And I didn't have the storybook childhood, but what I do want, viewers and everyone to know is that now I sit here in a space that is very grateful for my childhood. It's been the main thing that has made me so strong, so passionate about helping other women, about building my businesses, about, showing people that you can start with nothing and still create something really powerful. Just some of the stuff, though, that I went through was, I was in foster care. I did experience being homeless and that extreme poverty. So it is funny now because I don't think everyone sees that, and I don't always lead with that, but I'll hear things like, well, you wouldn't understand because your life is perfect. One, my life is not perfect at all right now. I am so thankful and happy with my results and where my life is heading, but it's only like that because my life so wasn't perfect. And that's what I want people to understand, is that if your life isn't there now, is that you can use that as your power and as your motivation to get you to where you want to be.
Oh, that's so powerful. I feel like with anything, like, I personally don't know anybody that hasn't gone through some form of struggle. And our struggles might all look different from each other, but and some maybe are more shocking struggles to have gone through than what maybe somebody else did. But I think every single person goes through some form of struggle at some point in their life. It may even be a struggle with body image, or, it can be all different things. It might not be something from like outside, if you will, like your family or your friends are outside people. But I think all of those struggles, like every single experience that we have in life, shapes who we are today. And by going through those struggles included, it really, it adds to your personality, your psyche, your outlook, your vision, your dreams, your goals, your dedication, your motivation. I think all of those things are affected by every single experience that we have. And it sounds like you've really been able to take, maybe a rough growing up and turning it into something positive in the way that you're helping others and helping women. Do you work with men too, or do you work with women?
With women. Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I think I assumed that. Maybe it was written somewhere. I work with women, so sometimes I think I assume that, and I didn't want to keep referring to women if you actually work with both women and men.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you went through the foster care system and experienced some homelessness?
Really young, but with foster care, like in my toddler years. But then the homelessness, it was on and off for sure. Just, sometimes it didn't always look like, we weren't sleeping on the street, but it did look like, hey, I hope my friends will house me and take care of me. And then definitely in high school was the worst time. It was when, the oil boom was really big in Sydney, Montana, and North Dakota. And, the oil boom made some people millionaires overnight, but it also completely changed our economy. And with a single mom, and our rent raises $1,000, we were left with nowhere to go. So that was definitely the most significant time, because when I was younger, it was impacting me, but I didn't really understand. I didn't know other people had homes to always go to, and they always could come home, and that home was always safe. I didn't know the difference. But so when I was in high school, it was something that completely impacted me. And then even, going to college, I didn't know how to go to college. I literally just put everything in my vehicle, and that's what I thought you did is you just showed up, and I showed up and found out that that's not how it works. And they asked me why I was going to classes when I wasn't enrolled. But then I got enrolled, and then, yeah, 4 years later, graduated with highest honors. So it's,
wow.
yeah.
So how on earth, so that sounds shocking to me. Like, I get it that you didn't have a parent guiding you, but was there not a teacher or a guidance counselor or somebody at your high school that would have helped you with that kind of college prep explanation, information?
And it's not to say that we didn't have those resources. You know, we were talked to about it. I don't think I understood everything. And it's more of those like small little details. Like they talked about why going to college was good and that this is how you need to do it. But I was just very in the mindset of I need to get out. And that's where my main focus was.
And I could see too, I'm sure some of the conversations, like I just think back to when I was in high school, and I feel like they had some of those conversations, but I think a lot of stuff did go unsaid, and they probably just automatically assume that's where the parents are coming in and saying like, okay, you need to apply to colleges and apply for scholarships, and here's how you fill out the paperwork and financial aid. And, they probably had a lot of those conversations just assuming that parents step into that role and guide their kids on that. But wow, you must have been a little surprised when they said, why are you coming to classes? You're not enrolled.
Yeah, there was stuff that I had to navigate that I never thought that you don't think of why, having parents is so important. Like when everyone's bringing the stuff up to the dorm and, they have their parents carrying their bedding, and I have just this big plastic tote, and I'm like just moving myself in, and all those little things that you don't necessarily think about. Or on the address part where they go, where do your parents live? And you put their address. I'm like, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
So all those little things you don't necessarily think of.
So who were you living with at that point? Like in your high school years, who were you living with, or where were you living at that point?
Different friends. Friends really stepped in.
So were you not technically in the foster care system by the time you got to high school?
No one really knew that we didn't have a home. Yeah. Okay. We weren't going to tell anyone. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure too that like by that age, then you knew that wasn't the norm. So I'm sure that it comes with a certain amount of shame or embarrassment.
Exactly.
Or you don't really want to announce that to everybody. Yeah. So what happened when you were in college? Because it sounds like you are very driven and motivated, and you've accomplished so much. How did that transformation take place? Was that always living inside of you? You just weren't sure how to make it happen? When you're in high school, you're kind of limited with what you can really do until you get out of high school. Or was there like a big like aha moment that you had of like, wow, this doesn't have to continue to be my future?
Right. Well, in high school, I wasn't star student at all. And I didn't really care. It wasn't something that was that important to me. And then I heard that, if you go to college, then maybe you could get a good job and maybe I could change. So I was so surprised by my first semester of college when, I was actually enrolled and in the dorms and whatnot, and how easy it was to get good grades and to go to class when you can come home and you're not going to get kicked out and you have a safe place. So once I saw it on papers, my first semester, I got straight A's, and that was something that I didn't get in high school. But school was easy when you could go to bed on time and people weren't partying, and you could just have a safe space. So I remember seeing that and being like, oh, I'm actually smart. I'm actually good at school. And at that point too, and all throughout school, I didn't buy a single textbook because I couldn't afford it. So I was literally just doing all my homework from remembering what the teacher said in lecture.
Oh my gosh.
Having that be enough. Or I would go to the bookstore and sit on the ground and take pictures of the actual book so that I could study it. So it was stuff like that. But once I saw that I could do it, then it just came. And I always did know that about myself in high school. I was like, this is temporary, better things are going to happen. And I'm not sure where that came from, because there was always a piece of me that believed in my success. And this is what I want to share with other people, that your life can have no evidence that you're going to succeed. You can be in the worst of spaces and have nothing that says, yes, you're going to be successful. And in those moments, you have to believe in it like you believe in magic, and hold on to it and just trust that it can happen for you. It can happen for anyone. It can happen when you're coming from the point of nothing. You just believe in that space that there can be better.
Oh, that's so incredibly powerful. So powerful. And I think there is something, like you said, you almost have to believe in it like you believe in magic. There's something that has to light you on fire. And
Right.
I think it's really hard anytime somebody is in the trenches of going through the thick of it. It can be, I don't want to use the word it can be easier, but sometimes it's more natural. That's what I mean to say. It's more natural to just think like, I can't do anything to change it. Like I'm stuck.
Right.
And I think that that's very common and very natural for people to fall back on. But if they can really set their sights on what they want their life to be and figure out how to get there. I mean, there's some planning that must have, that has to take place to get there. So how did you end up deciding to major in psychology?
I was always fascinated since I was really young, just seeing that. I saw so many people around me, and I was growing up in these trailer parks, and there was a lot of addiction, and I always just wondered, like, why do some people turn out like the addicts down the street, and why do some people also go through really terrible things and can pick themselves back up and become successful and use that for their own power. And so I was obsessed with just like always studying why are people doing this? Why do people do what they do? So I always knew that was something I wanted to go into. And also I just grew up surrounded by this extreme pain, and I wanted to be that person that took that away from people. And so that's why I pursued applied psychology. So, my goal is to also go into private practice with my master's degrees in counseling. So that was a big motivator for me too, is to be someone to alleviate pain from other people.
Oh, I love that. I love that. What a great goal to have. And you're clearly helping so many people already. Can we talk a minute about your nonprofit, Dancing for a Purpose?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because it sounds like there's a reason why you wanted to include dance in your nonprofit. And it sounds like dance is something that has always been important to you. When did you first begin dancing?
I started dancing really young. My mom scraped together the money to put me in tap dance, and my grandma also helped me out so that my sister and we could be in tap dance. Once we grew up, it was almost impossible for us to keep doing it because we couldn't afford it. And my studio in Sydney sponsored me to dance. So they let me take lessons for free.
Wow.
And I can't.
Oh, that brings tears to my eyes.
And it like my competitions were covered, everything. And so like it changed my life in a way where, I had an escape. I had a therapy for myself. I had a reason, I had friends. So I always promised myself that I would give back in the same way. And that's why Dancing for a Purpose, they have a camp fee, but that also goes into scholarships for families who can't afford traditional dance lessons. So since we've been running, I've given out almost $3,000 worth of scholarships for them to participate in the program. Yeah. And to get, everything that they should be able to get and have.
And what is the program? Is it like a 1-week camp? Is it 3 months? Is it, what is the program?
Yep. It's a weekend workshop in the summer.
Cool.
So yeah.
And what ages is it for?
5 to 10.
Aw.
Yeah. So really
sweet.
Young. I wanted to be in that age group where, it's before that onset of the self-esteem and all that. And I remember going around the circle this year and, we say something that we like about ourselves. And I say, when you decide what you like about yourself, no one gets to take that away from you. And I remember one little girl and she, it's like, what do you like about yourself? And she's all like, I like that I'm cute. I just think about that because, how do we lose that when we get older? And it's like, we can't just say that we're cute without someone being like, why is she so conceited and why do you think that
Yes.
about yourself, and no you're not, and just to be able to be so young and sit there and be like, yeah, I like myself because I'm cute.
Yes.
I am cute, and no one gets to take that away from me. So to, you know, build up that self-esteem in them for when, you know, that one day someone tells them that they aren't smart and they aren't cute, and they know in themselves that no one gets to take that from them.
Oh, I love that. And that is, it's something that we have some really cool body positivity events in the town that I'm in. And we have some real powerhouse women that have started these, and they're absolutely amazing. And it is so different when you start to surround yourself by a whole group of women that are proud of themselves. And yes, they can show their vulnerabilities and their insecurities, but to be able to say like, yeah, I'm a hot little number, and I am proud of that. Like as adults, yes, I'm cute.
Yeah.
Dang it, I'm cute.
Yeah.
As adults, it's like somewhere along the line that becomes not okay to say. And I feel like women are especially terrible at accepting compliments. And it can be really, it's so much easier to be like, you know, like, oh my gosh, you look so cute. Oh, really? I didn't even do anything.
Yeah,
or, oh
no,
my gosh,
I
I got my
today.
sweater.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I got this at JCPenney's. You know, like we seem to qualify everything in a negative way. And I do think that's very much more a female trait. I don't see the men in my life. They're usually like, yeah, thanks. I do look pretty good today. Like, I feel like in general, men are just like, yeah, I look awesome. I'm great. And as women, that I'm not sure if it's society, what happens, but we lose that sometime throughout our life. Well, it sounds like dance was maybe even something that really helped you make it through those difficult years in the high school years and gave some of that consistency. What did it feel like? I'm assuming you knew when you were in high school and things that your studio sponsored you. Did you feel grateful at that time, or was it ever like, oh, I'm the kid that had to be sponsored?
Yeah, I was a little embarrassed. I didn't, you know, I wish it wouldn't have been that way. And I don't think I was fully aware of, you know, being conscious enough to go through it like I am now, and being like, but I still took advantage of it because it was, you know, one of the only opportunities that I had to do better. And, you know, I had to take what was given to me, and it comes all from a spot of being very thankful because it wasn't my fault, the situation I was in.
Yes. Oh, definitely. And, you know, as kids, you just view things in a different lens as a child, partly because you don't know everything, you know, not everything is shared with a child, and partly because you're a kid and, you know, our brains haven't fully developed and things like that. So yeah, I can only imagine how grateful you feel at this point in time. Did you have other good friends outside of dance, or was dance pretty much your like social connection?
Yeah, I had plenty of friends outside of dance, and, you know, we were definitely all the ones who, and I never realized it then, but we were all struggling at home and all had stuff going on. So we were the ones who were bad kids and stayed out late. And so that's what I do want people to know, is that like the road to success isn't straight and narrow, and it doesn't have to be. Like you can be a completely different person, you know, 10 years ago than who you're going to become. And that's how I feel about myself now. I can love myself and appreciate myself for who I am, but I know in another 10 years time, I'm going to become someone I can't even imagine that I'm going to be.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's so important, because I think one of the saddest things that can happen is if 10 years go by and you go, oh, I'm exactly the same. Like, to me, that's a sign that there hasn't been growth. And I know I'm a completely different person now than I was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And I think that's a sign of growth, and life changes and we change. And it's important to continue that growth. And it's exciting to see what the future holds.
Yeah, I don't think a week should go by or a month should go by where you're like, I'm the exact same. You should always, if you are, then that should be a sign that something that you need to change, and what you're doing needs to change too, because changing is amazing. You should want to keep getting better.
Yes. So do you, obviously you're pretty busy with the grad student, got a couple businesses. Are you also, I'm kind of a personal development junkie. Do you get into the personal development stuff?
Oh yeah. Same here. I would say that's the only reason why I even wanted to start businesses, was just from this point of being really obsessed with personal development and growth and change, and like believing in the, you know, idea that we can change.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah,
I love
that's
it.
huge for me. I think, you know, at least you should touch on it every single day.
Hmm. I use when I'm driving in the car, because with 3 kids
Yeah.
and business and work and everything, I feel like I don't have a lot of time. So when I'm
Oh
driving in
yeah.
the car, and it's amazing how fast, like, I don't think I realized how long I'm in the car, but it
Yeah.
adds
Yeah.
up.
Nope. I
Short
do the
little
same
trips.
exact
Yeah,
thing.
short little trips around the town. And it's suddenly like, how am I 4
I
hours
read a
into this
book.
audiobook?
Yeah, yeah,
What just
driving,
happened?
when I'm getting, you know, ready, when I'm doing my hair and my makeup, instead of like putting on music, I just turn on an audiobook, I turn on a
Yes.
podcast, something where I'm learning. Yeah. You can get so much more in. It doesn't, like, I get it. You're busy. Everyone's busy. I'm busy, but to say like you can't grow because you're too busy just isn't true.
Yes. Oh, I completely agree. And yes, if I'm laying in the bathtub, or when I'm like doing my hair and makeup, that's the other time where I'll play it
Yeah.
too. So do you have any podcasts or audiobooks that have been like stick out in your mind as some of your favorites?
Right now, I'm listening to on audiobook, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Oh, I'm writing that down. I haven't heard of that
Yeah,
one.
it's great, because, you know, it goes over, which I believe too, we are always standing in our own way. And, you know, being yourself is the reason why you have the results that you have now. And so, like, I can look at the results I have in my life and be very happy, but I still want more. I still want it. And that is how we grow. That's how we change. So to know that to do that, I have to break the habit of being me, because that is what's given me the results that I have now. And, you know, it's the same thing if we really don't like our lives. It's every small thing that we continue to do day in and day out. It's how you view the world. It's how your perception sees everything. So to be able to break that is huge. So I'm listening to that right now, and I'm almost done. So I love that one.
All right. I wrote it down. I'm putting that one next up on my list, because you're the first person I've heard recommend that one. I missed out on this. So I'm excited to add that to my list.
It's
so back to your nonprofit, how many girls come to the weekend workshop through that? How many little girls are there?
Yeah, so about 8 has been the number we've been hitting so far, and I'd like to obviously grow that and keep helping more and more girls as that grows.
Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Such a fun age.
Oh yeah,
I love
they're
that.
So funny.
Yes. So when will you be done with grad school?
I have about a year and a half left.
Okay.
2 years if I go even slower than that, but
Gotcha.
yeah, almost done. It'll go by fast.
It will.
Yeah.
Think about how fast the last year and a half went by.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and the time passes anyways.
Yes. Oh, that's so amazing. Well, I am so impressed with everything that you've done. I want to talk a minute about being Miss Montana International 2017. How did that come to be for you?
It was just something that I always, you know, didn't think I wanted to do, but I remember like watching it when I was younger and was like, oh, that would be kind of nice. And then just thought that wasn't for me because we don't have the money to do it. So it more so became something when I got older that, you know, it was this unresolved thing that proved to me that just because I didn't get to do something when I didn't have the resources, there's nothing stopping me now to create the resources to be able to do something like that. So that was the main power behind it. But also I was so passionate about my platform and to be that voice for other people and to, you know, share my story and help others get there and empower them was the other big thing. So I really wasn't big into wearing an evening gown or wearing, that didn't matter to me, but the reason behind why I had to pursue it really did.
Oh, I love that. Love it, love it, love it. So let's talk a little bit about the business and helping women bust through their limiting beliefs. What does it look like when women work with you? What type of programs do you run? How does that work?
Mm-hmm. Well, right now I have a mastermind that's going on. So this is a group program that women signed up for. Some signed up to be able to work with me one-on-one through it. Others are just in the course. But I view success as all encompassing. So, you know, it's like we might want our big income goals, but there's other stuff that has to be worked on. So the first week we work on, you know, healing that past limiting belief. Week 2, really structuring your life and where you want to go and finding that power and, you know, attracting and being on that same energy level to be able to get those results in your life. And then we do work on budgeting and then more of that strategy, but also, you know, the reason I work on limiting beliefs around money. Do you believe that it's bad? Do you believe that you can't have it? And then also relationships, the relationship you have with yourself, other people, and what you're attracting in your life. And then we're about to touch on the last week of the program this week, which is all about leadership and stepping into being a business owner and moving forward. So that's one example of a program that I have. And then I also have a 3-month private mentorship program where every single week we work together one-on-one, and one, using the strategy on how to grow your business, but also, you know, offering that piece of support and healing and everything that you need.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. And did you have a special offer that you wanted to extend to the Girls Talk Business viewers?
Yes, I did. For anyone who mentions this video, I want to offer 25% off of my 3-month package. And all you have to do to get more information on that is when I do have a Facebook group where I do free trainings every Sunday. So this is all about success, mindset, you know, the stuff you need to heal from your past, but to also move forward to create your ideal future. Is all my Facebook group is called Intentional Healing. But I can also, or you can drop the link to apply to be able to work with me. So I do have an application that I have people go through to make sure it's the right fit for you and for myself.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What a great deal. Is there is this deal available indefinitely as people watch the replay, or is this only available for a certain amount of time?
Right. I do want people to be able to catch up and catch the replay. So if you book your discovery call with me after you fill out the application, so our first call is just getting to know each other and seeing if that would be the right fit. So I want to open that up for the next 2 weeks from when this video airs.
Awesome. 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 That's so generous of you. Thank you so much. And I will update after the video ends. I'll update the description, and I'll include in all your links in there, and I'll make sure I include the Facebook group link. So that's amazing. And then we are at the 30-minute mark already. So I would love for you to share your top 2 tips.
Right. So my top 2 tips for, you know, this really applies for business, but in anything that you are pursuing. The first one is you have to go even when you don't feel like it. It's never going to be the right time. You're always going to have fears. You're always going to have insecurities, but to be able to power through in spite of being afraid, in spite of being worried that it's not going to turn out, in spite of not feeling like it. There's so much, I think we get this idea that, you know, our lives have to be perfect. And so we're like, no, I need to be happy. So I'm not happy right now, so I'm going to quit. And then that keeps going, and we're in this endless pursuit of not really feeling fully fulfilled. You're not always going to feel amazing. There's so much stuff that I've had to power through, you know, with school, with my business, where I didn't feel good. I felt like giving up, but you have to keep moving forward even when you don't feel like it. Which kind of brings me to my tip number 2 is fail, and fail a lot. You know, that is such a good sign that you are learning, that you are growing. If something didn't work out, then you know what didn't work. So then you can try something else. Failing isn't being a failure. You know, it's only a failure really if you consider it and give up. If you can take it and learn from it, you're only going to keep getting better. So
yes.
Definitely
oh my gosh,
embrace
that
failure.
Is so true. And I feel like you said, it really applies to any area of life.
Yeah.
Really, it applies to any age, whether, you know, you have children that you're talking to or adults. It really applies anywhere, but I do see that a lot. And I think there's something about the online space where a lot of women get very, very nervous about putting themselves out there on social media for their businesses. And I think part of it is that they're so afraid of that rejection that they feel like they're going to get, either from an internet troll saying mean things, somebody not agreeing with what they say, or heaven forbid, nobody responds. Like, I think there's this really big fear that women have that nobody is going to respond. And I always say that too, like, if nobody responds to your post, then something didn't connect with people and you just have to try it. Like, you figured out something that didn't work,
right.
or at least didn't work on that day, at that time, on that platform. Like, try back to the drawing board and try again. And it is so important. And I also think, I was just having a conversation this week with a woman I know, and she hasn't started launching her business yet. And she said to me that she thinks it really boils down to the fact that she's a perfectionist. And I said, perfectionism is one of those tricky things, because a lot of times people use perfectionism as an excuse to never start.
Yeah.
They just stay hidden in the shadows because it's not perfect yet.
Right.
And it's really easy to stay hiding in those shadows because that's where our comfort zone is.
Yeah.
So it's so true to show up no matter how you feel and just take action.
Yeah, exactly.
Something.
Yeah.
Something.
And it doesn't have to be perfect. And you should embrace the fact that it's not, and let it be a good thing if you fail.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't know any successful person that hasn't experienced some sort of fail.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to. Everything big once started small, and everything that's been successful has been a result of many, many failed attempts and pivoting and learning and growing. So it's all, you're supposed to.
Exactly. I love it. I love it. Julie, thank you so much for joining me today on Girls Talk Business. I appreciate your time and sharing your incredibly personal story of struggle. And I'm so excited to watch you continue to grow. And I'm so happy that our paths crossed and that you were able to come on the show today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun being on the show with you.
Yes. And now we just got to wait for Oprah to call us. Because
exactly, it's gonna happen.
Yes. For everybody else watching, I told Julie, I think I must think we're a pretty dynamic duo, because I had a dream this week that Oprah called after our show was on. So, Oprah, if you see this, just message me. Just message
Slide
me.
into my DMs.
Yes, yes, exactly. Well, thank you again. It was an absolute pleasure to have you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All
you
right.
as well.
Thank you. And I think you're an hour earlier there, aren't you? Was it only 4 o'clock there?
It's actually 2 hours early. So.
Oh, well, you got a whole bunch of your day left now. You enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll enjoy my evening.
Exactly. All right. Well, have a great rest of your night.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.